Back in 2003, drifting in Aotearoa emerged from the underground into the world of motorsport. Several drift teams from all over New Zealand came together to organise and regulate events nationwide, developing competition formats on race circuits and bringing drifting off the back streets. With that, the Drift Club of New Zealand was born, with its mission to promote and educate New Zealand drift motorsport in a safe environment. The cars have come a long way since those old days. Back then, roll cages were optional, good suspension was cut springs, GoPros hadn't been invented, and race boots were definitely not in fashion. But with the rise of competition, so too came the development of a new era of professional drifting.
Yeah, well, you did right. Gone are the days of the likes of that, the cut springs and the just go out there and drift sort of attitude. So now we've got these pro cars, you know, $200,000-300,000 cars that we're bringing to the field, and it's wicked to see the progression going through. It's almost exciting to see what the next step is going to be after this, because the position we're in now with these high horsepower monsters, it's very exciting to see.
Yeah, so the level of drifting in New Zealand now has come up a lot. In the last 6 years, the standard of car has come up a lot. The standard of grip, so basically with drifting, grip, power, and that's all come up to a really high level. And then obviously the drivers on top of that. So drifting around the world is growing fast. The guys in the US, the guys in Japan are pushing the levels, and I think New Zealand is also pushing the levels. So yeah, it's really come up, and it's, as a driver, there's a lot less room for error to pull something off. So you've got to be really on the point.
Sky's the limit, mate. You know, we're obviously limited to a tyre, but innovation and designs of now steering knuckles and rear hubs to get grip, to suspension travel and shock settings, and it's huge. It's like we're track racing, you know. These guys are corner weighting their cars, getting them set up with that ride height between a couple of mil. We're doing exactly the same. It's a drift car, you know. So it's a sport that is growing, and I don't think it's ever going to stop, because there's so much progression. There's so many things we can figure out to make these things hook up better, get more angle, get more speed, to put on way more of a cool show.
The D1NZ Championship follows the base regulations set out by Schedule D1 and Schedule DR under Motorsport New Zealand, the FIA-appointed governing body of motorsport in the country. The series has been propelled to the forefront of professional motorsport, with nearly 1 million spectators coming through the gates to witness world-class competition. Many of New Zealand's top drivers have represented the country overseas, with success in Australia, Japan, the USA, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, China and Europe. The competition has had phenomenal development over the last decade, with many teams fielding multi-car campaigns, with vehicles producing anywhere between 400 and over 1,000 horsepower. Throw in some turbos and superchargers, semi-slick tyres, a sprinkle of nitrous oxide, and you've got the recipe for spectacular fields of high-octane drift monsters competing for the most prestigious prize in Australasian drifting.
Yeah, so we've been involved probably 10 or 11 odd years, and I remember coming and watching it when I was circuit racing, and you know, the boys were skidding around in pretty much standard road cars, you know, and they were pretty basic. Now you just look at the progression of the sport and how much it's changed, just even in the last sort of 2 or 3 years.
Man, you know, like even a couple of these guys that have come out of pro sport, they're killer drivers, man, you know, like there's still good competition here, and then there's also other DKs, you know, Cole Armstrong, he's still charging. Carl Thompson, man, he's got a weapon of a car. It sounds good, and you know, he's getting it home with his setups. And the Jenkins boys, you know. So there's the Steedmans and Adam Davies. He was second in the championship last year. So, man, there's a challenge here, and it's a start to a new season. So, bring it on.
While D1NZ is now in its 17th season, only 9 drivers have held the iconic Pro Championship trophy. Over the years, we've seen our share of magic moments, dramas, controversies and legends. Who could forget the rivalry between Drift Corp and WSR?
Justin, the king of chasers, really pushed.
Rise of international drift superstar Mad Mike and his flame-spitting RX-7.
New Zealand's fastest growing motorsport.
We are the future.
Or what about the young prodigy from South Auckland, Nico Reid, the People's Champ, winning 4 events in a row? Giving up.
To all my sponsors and family.
The number 4 might be the magic number to beat. Gaz Wider, the humble builder from Northland, New Zealand's most successful driver with 4 championship titles. Last year's winner Darren Kelly joined the elite ranks of New Zealand drifting, piloting the Nissan R35 GTR to his 2nd Drift King title.
From the days that we used to come to the track and be the guys in the crowd, those were the guys that we were watching. Gaz getting 3 times in a row, 4 times. Yeah, guys like Cole, Teretonga, Kurt, amazing drivers, and it's pretty special to be in the same league as those guys.
There's new and returning faces to the driver lineup in 2020. The popular RB icon Zach Pohl makes his return to the Pro Series, with last year's Pro Sport Development Series winner Michael Thorley making a step into the Pro Championship with a new RB-powered 180SX.
So I'm Mike Thorley, I drive the NZ Nissan 180SX, fresh new car. It's got an RB30 in it, headwork by Ross at Top Tune. It's got a Merch MSC turbo on it, Tex Racing 4-speed gearbox, Winters changed diff, just trying to be a reliable package. I'm keen to bang doors of anyone here, like they're all top drivers, and for me stepping up, I'll bang doors with everyone if I can.
Taylor James also makes a move into the Pro Series behind the wheel of a refreshed RB-powered S14 Sylvia.
My name's Taylor James from the Central Drift team. Drive an S14 RB30. Same car we used in Pro Sport last year. We are building another car, but that's not quite finished yet, so hopefully see that sometime this season. We've done a few track days in the off-season with the 265, the bigger tyre, but we're slowly sort of getting used to the more grip and more speed, and hopefully it'll work out in the end,
Teretonga's Kurt Blackie also makes the big jump into the Pro Championship behind the wheel of a new V8-powered GT86.
So the car behind me is a GT86. It's a LS-based motor. Brand new car for me. I've come from a Skyline, so big chassis RB man. So it's very different, and slowly getting my head around it though. I don't want to set my goals too high, but I'd love to be in that mid to top end pack. I've got the car to do it, so it just comes down to my driving and get the job done.
And the big news pre-season was the return of Australian drifting champion Jake Jones, scoring a full season drive with a 2JZ-powered Galore Parts Group GT86. This year, D1NZ forms a 5-round calendar as part of the Speedworks Motorsport Series, with a mix of circuits and stadium events visiting Bay Park Speedway Tauranga, Hampton Downs Motorsport Park in the Waikato, Pukekohe Park in Auckland, and for the very first time ever, the D1NZ Pro Championship heads to the Deep South to take on Teretonga Park in Invercargill. Who will be the next New Zealand Drift King? This is the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived. G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
You're watching the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. Drifting is a sideways evolution from traditional motorsports. Each driver competes for points given out by a select panel of judges. The three major criteria are line, angle, and style. Together, they form a score out of 100. Line is a racing line marked out by clipping zones. Drivers need to consistently hit these areas to score maximum points. Angle is how much rear slip angle a car produces. Drivers need to engage and maintain as much opposite steering lock as possible to receive a higher score. Style is a style of fluidity, impact and commitment. Points are scored for the use of speed, momentum and throttle control to attack the scoring areas. Using as little handbrake as possible, competitors need to find the balance between smooth, aggressive movement while pushing the limits of their driving abilities and their confidence in the vehicle. Teams and drivers have 2 laps in qualifying to start the competition. From here they move on to tandem eliminations where the top qualifier form a seeded battle tree. A drift battle requires each driver to take turns leading and chasing. The lead driver's objective is to match or better their performance in qualifying. The chase driver's objective is to get as close as possible to the leading car while also maintaining scoring criteria. The 2020 D1NZ season will see a new lineup of judging officials. Round 1 in Invercargill will be led by the South Island drifting veteran Mark O'Hara with 35 points up for grabs. Based out of Christchurch, Mark has been drifting for over 13 years, both in grassroots and in competition, more recently serving as the judge in the local Drift South series. The Southern flavour continues with former D1NZ Pro driver Joel Counter joining the series as angle judge for the 2020 season. Joel's seen plenty of competition over 7 years, piloting a Nissan S14, as well as being crowned a 2-time Drift South Series champion. Our final judge for the weekend is none other than D1NZ Pro driver Jace Brown. Based out of Hamilton, Jace will be joining the team as style judge with 30 points out to dish. An experienced competitor in both the D1NZ Pro Sport Development Class and Pro Championship over the last 7 years, as well as representing New Zealand in the 2018 International Drifting Cup held in Australia. And that's the judges lineup for the weekend, round 1 of the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
So today is a big education day when you think about it, with the opening round of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Champ. The man behind us is promoter Brendan White. Nice to have you here in Invercargill. You must be pretty stoked, first and foremost, that a major company like Valvoline can jump on board and say, you know, we think this is where we should be.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to be here down in Invercargill, and it's exciting to have you along as well. And yeah, to have Valvoline, it's one of the oldest oil companies in the world, and it's a strong brand, you know. And the guys actually, they're motorsport people. Not only the motorsport people down here at Teretonga, they're motorsport people at Valvoline, and that's a cool thing because you always want to work with a brand that shares the same passion and excitement. So kudos to them. They're over there now. They're having a couple beers, and it's only going to get more and more interesting.
You mentioned that people just love drifting. What is the one element, the one thing that drivers love about drifting?
In a straight line racing, in a TR race or a Castrol 86 race, you're going in a straight line. It's first past the post. This one, the pressure's on. There's only 2 cars on the track at one time. And you're with a car and it's constantly out of control. And you're controlling it with the accelerator, with the handbrake. You're keeping it just to the point. And we saw with Fangadan earlier on, you know, even the best crash.
You can't say professional drivers are out of control. The amount of control they have is stunning.
Totally, and that's what drives them. That's what the driver is, because you're tethering on the edge of constantly, potentially being in a wall at 200 kilometres an hour, but they know that they can control that. So it's exhilarating. It's very, it's a hard word to describe. Awesome.
All right, don't go too far. You just think about that new beard that you've grown. You're not sure you think
we weren't going to mention
he's
that.
growing a beard. First time, he wasn't so sure about it. Anyway, we're here in Invercargill. If you want to understand qualifying, here we go.
Well, it's a new season, new cars, new drivers. It is round one of the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series. And to kick the new season off, we head to one of the most southern racetracks in the world. For the first time ever, the D1NZ Series visits Invercargill's Teretonga Park, a circuit rich with Kiwi motor racing history and one of the oldest purpose-built venues in the country. Let's take a look at the track rundown ahead of qualifying for round one, and taking us for a tour of the circuit is two-time New Zealand champion Darren Kelly in his 3.4 litre RB-powered Nissan GTR. It's a standing start heading into the traditional turn 2 at Teretonga. This is the start of the drift section, an outside zone on the left-hand side. It's a fast entry. Judges want to see plenty of power and plenty of angle into these outside zones, setting up for a good attack at the next inside clipping zone on the right-hand side. Drivers need to carry this speed and get the best exit angle and the fastest line to throw a strong switch onto the next outside zone, clip 3 on the right-hand side of the course. From here, it's a full throttle smooth arc to the next outside clipping zone 4 on the left-hand side. The smoother, the better for maximum points. Stacking on the angle to scrub off some speed and really fill this outer zone. It's going to be a challenge not to drop wheels off course and receive penalties. It's a mid-line approach to the next outside clip 5. They need to carry aggression here and really put the throttle down as the car fires to the inside apex at clip 6 and carry that flow through to the right-hand side to finish the section. This track is fast, it's 3rd and 4th gear, but it's also very narrow with plenty of grip on offer, which will be a challenge for teams setting up the cars in pit lane. The drivers who can maintain fluidity and a smooth line will score higher this weekend, and the judges will be looking for big angle throws into those outside zones. And if you can do that without using too much handbrake, you'll find yourself in pole position by the end of qualifying.
It's the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship, Teretonga Park, Invercargill, the world's southernmost circuit. Let's have a look at qualifying.
Well, Steve, there was all sorts of action in the qualifying session. It was late in the afternoon and the track condition played a huge part. And great to see out there the good ride R32 Skyline, none other than Bradley Knight, the only local driver in action at Teretonga Park.
Fanger Dan Woolhouse takes a wild ride in the Ford Mustang RTR. This is the 2017 car. I hear he's got a 2020 car waiting for round number 2.
Yeah, can't wait to see that in action. And, you know, the track condition played a lot in this qualifying session, and you'll see that Jaron Olive-Croder in that parts trailer S14 struggling as they come out of that first turn, and Bumper getting eaten there in that Toyota's Galore GT86.
Even the best get it wrong. The Pace Pulse E46 BMW, 1,000 horsepower, not enough to handle for Dane and Templeman.
Well, let's take a look at our top 3 qualifiers, and the best of the best came through to the top as we boiled down in our top 3. None other than Jesse Greenslade in the NZ Girls Nissan S15. It was RB power for position 3. Jesse Greenslade setting an absolutely stunning lap in that machine, and he was good enough for 3rd place with an 82-point score on the board.
Well, out on the circuit, chucking it sideways, Cole Armstrong, a 2 times New Zealand Drift King in the Beautyline R34 Skyline. Cole loving the action here at Teretonga as he makes his way down into the final section.
Such a fast-flowing section, isn't it, Steve? And you'll see a little dirt drop there. He lost 3 points from the judges for that, but still good enough for an 87.5 position, number 2. And our panhead, top qualifier, none other than the Hoonigan star, fresh from the States. It's Carl Thompson.
Carl Thompson running 900 horsepower in that immaculately presented S15. He's been the man to watch all weekend, setting the pace here at Teretonga.
A little bit on the brakes there to get that last outer clipping zone, but a point score of 90.5 on the board. Pole position for round 1 of the Valvoline D1NZ.
Yeah, no, went well. Obviously, practice was going really well, and then we had a small problem. We had a spigot bearing let go, so my crew went hard, got that done, so we missed a bit of practice. But yeah, obviously just sort of went back to the line I was running before and what I knew, and it worked, so cool. Yep. My mindset, just hungry for it. Yeah, hungry. Yeah. Keen to eat.
Yeah, I did qualify second. We're pretty over the moon. Let's say we brought the old girl here. Hasn't had the heaviest prep, but these boys have been able to get me through. I know this car inside and out. I've been driving it for like 10 years or whatever it is. So awesome. This S10 just were able to hook up really well on this fuzzy surface here. It's sort of like a bit of a chipstone. But yeah, just stoked. The car's done what we wanted. We've been able to qualify well and yeah, bring on the battles.
Mate, it's awesome, to be honest. We've had so many ups and downs with this car, so to finally eventually get a win and go out there and lay down a good solid run, it feels absolutely amazing. This track is probably one of the best tracks I've probably ever drifted. It's just such a fast flowing section, and it's sort of what drifting's all about, so we're loving it down here.
Well, it's time now to take a look at our grid lineup for the top 16 round 1, and it's pole sitter Carl Thompson lining up against Michael Thorley.
Taylor James will take on Troy Jenkins.
Bruce Tannock will line up against the only South Island driver Bradley Knight, and Dan Woolhouse in that Ford Mustang RTR will take on Dave Steedman. Now, Steve, there's a couple of guys coming out of pit lane who've got mechanical dramas. Zach Pohl out of action this weekend, but so too Kurt Blackie, unable to make the line.
Cole Armstrong versus Ben Jenkins. Jake Jones gets the bye. Jesse Greenslade will go up against Jaron Olive Krona, and Danon Templeman versus Adam Davies.
Well, that is your grid lineup for the top 16, round 1 of the D1NZ 2020 series, brought to you by Valvoline. Stick around after the break. We get straight into highlights of the top 16.
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived, G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
Welcome back to the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship 2020 Round 1. We're here at Teretonga Park.
It's time for the top 16 battles, and let's take a look at the tandem battle criteria. What are the judges looking for? Well, the lead car becomes a mobile clipping point. We go from a single car pass now to a tandem elimination battle, and these guys have to navigate that same qualifying line and hit all these clipping points while chasing a car in front of them. And Steve, it comes down to battling that smoke, but also giving leeway to that lead car, because come the transition, you don't want to write the front end of your car off.
Well, it's all about proximity as we head into the centre section here at Teretonga Park. The driver up front is going to have to do the qualifying line. The man needs to be right on his bumper if he's going to take out round 1 here at Teretonga. Valvoline D1NZ, it's top 16 time.
Well, let's get into it and see who was the best of the 16, and it was Carl Thompson giving chase to none other than Michael Thorley in that NZ 180SX. Carl Thompson with the horsepower advantage, but Carl Thompson just got lost in that smoke.
Thompson making a big mistake, the top qualifier, and he is going to be out.
Michael Thorley taking a clean victory here, setting an absolutely superb lap out on the lead. Carl Thompson making those mistakes in the smoke. It's such a long section, and you'll see here Carl Thompson washing out wide. It was all victory to Michael Thorley.
Upset first battle. You've taken the pole sitter out, Michael. How'd that feel?
Well, if there was someone to beat, it was Carl. I mean, that was wicked. I had upset on my qualifying run, so yeah, to take Carl out, yeah, it's pretty wicked. Pretty cool feeling.
Moving into the Pro Championship for his first season in the Roundwood NZ S14, Taylor James with a great lead run.
Taylor James was one of the standouts early in qualifying, a rookie jumping into the Pro Championship. But you'll see here, Troy Jenkins, the chase driver, again, another driver getting lost in that smoke through the midsection here at Teretonga, doing everything he could to try regain proximity up on that red quarter, but it was all victory to Taylor James, a win into the top 8.
Not a bad way to start your pro debut, Taylor. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, first ever pro battle, and yeah, raps to get the win. Glad to be here, so yeah, rap.
Bit nervous on the chase with your distance?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot faster car than me, so I was a bit nervous, but no, we done what we could, and it turned out good. So.
While Bruce Tannock in the Magan Turbo S13 absolutely scorching it, creating a massive distance between himself and Bradley Knight, the local driver.
Bradley Knight was just struggling, unfortunately, with the horsepower difference here, and Bruce Tannock just driving away from him in the first pass. You'll see here Tannock in the second half of his battle, closing up on that rear quarter, and that was all she wrote for Bradley Knight. Tannock through with the victory into the top 8.
That smile says it all. The Magan Turbo Hamilton S13 does the trick, eh?
Yeah, that's obviously Bradley's fresh to the scene coming from the South Island, so we have probably got a huge power advantage on him, but no, he's been doing well all day, so I'm really stoked to get the win.
Well, Cole Armstrong, a two-time New Zealand Drift King in the Valvoline R34 Skyline. He's got Ben Jenkins trying to chase him down. Cole Armstrong, though, throwing the big whale of the Valvoline R34 around the track here.
Ben Jenkins was trying to hunt that rear quarter, but it was such a clean run from that Valvoline R34 Skyline in the first pass. It was in the second pass where things got a little bit more interesting as Cole Armstrong tried to close up on that rear quarter. And you'll see there the Toyota's Galore GT86 putting on a pretty good job in the lead, but it was Armstrong coming through with consistency, filling that outer zone through that midsection. Ben Jenkins stacks on the angle to come through the last 2 clipping points, and Cole Armstrong just reeling him in through that smoke. A consistent, clean job to take the victory.
Major respect between you two.
Oh, mate, we're both pushing 110%. There was 0 mistakes from both of us, I think, but obviously someone had a slightly better line. We felt real good.
One of the judges wanted to go one more time. Would that have surprised you if you'd gone one more time?
Nah, not in the instance that what we just did there, man. That was on the limit. Both cars are on the money. It was sick. Good fun. Real good fun.
Well, qualifying second, Jesse Greenslade in the NZ Girls S15, chasing down the Monster V12 Parts Trader NZ Nissan S14 of Jaron O'Crona.
It was wheels off for Greenslade. He scored a penalty for that, and it was a fairly clean run for Jaron O'Crona out in front. The Flamingo was flaunting on that rear wing as they switch on through the last part of the section, but it was all dramas, a mechanical drama for Jaron O'Crona, and that threw the victory to Jesse Greenslade.
What's the big sigh of relief?
Oh, mate, we both made a few mistakes. Nothing like a bit of pressure. The whole weekend we've been driving fine, and I think this is the first time the whole weekend I actually dirt dropped, went off the track a bit. It was a bit sloppy. We got there though. We got the win. We got the win.
In the hands of our launch master Willie, as the 2 cars get launched off the line, Fanger Dan Woolhouse, massive issues with his car during practice, did not realise that there is changes been made to the circuit layout, and of course chose to go left when he should have gone right, hit the cone.
Yeah, it was a big unfortunate drama there for Fanger Dan. An amazing job despite the right front not rotating to actually still put a drift through that initiation zone, but it was a victory to Dave Steedman in that Max Muffler's Mimico S14.
Oh yeah, pretty good. The car's feeling really good. I think Fanger picked up a bit of an unwanted guest there in the shape of a big orange cone, and he's dragging it around for a bit. I think that stuffed up his run a little bit, so hopefully he can get back out and we can do a second pass.
So really unfortunate here for Fanger Dan. Unfortunately, the chicane layout had slightly changed during practice. He didn't make practice because he was busy in the pits fixing his car. They had clutch dramas and driveline issues. But Fanger Dan, an amazing job despite the fact that right wheel wasn't turning. And that was victory to Dave Steedman. And unfortunately for the Century Batteries machine, it was on the trailer early as we head into the rest of the top 16. Dayton Templeman getting it all wrong in his battle against Adam Davies.
Adam Davies in the Ryco 24/7 Mimico 180SX, right on the line, but big mistakes by Dayton Templeman, having to make a huge correction through the centre section of the track.
Just stacking on too much angle, handing an easy victory to Adam Davies.
All hail the rotaries, eh, Adam?
Yeah, the only way to go, mate. It seems to do the damage so far, so yeah, it's awesome.
What did you make of your 2 runs?
I knew I had to be, on point with Dane. His car's so fast. Unfortunately for me, just had overcooked a little bit in the midsection, so I just managed to, I suppose, get a bit of an advantage there and just had to make sure I do a clean line and not drop, not too many wheels off on the lead run.
A lot of support for you here in the pits. How far do you think you can go?
Oh, hey, we've all got a chance to get to the top, haven't we? So we've just got to fight hard.
Well, time now to check out the NZ Vapor top 8. After we've boiled down the top 16, we are now into the quarterfinals.
Well, it's the battle of the rookies. Michael Thorley going up against Taylor James.
Bruce Tannock will take on Dave Steedman for the Battle of the RBs.
Cole Armstrong versus the Australian Jake Jones.
And the RB man of Jesse Greenslade will take on the rotary pilot of Adam Davies, the 2NZ. Can he make it to the podium again here at round 2? Well, let's check out the top 8.
The Roundwood NZ S14 of Taylor James leading with Michael Thorley in the NZ 180 S6, chasing him down.
Michael Thorley doing a great job in the smoke. They switch on through the midsection here. Michael Thorley doing a better job to fill that outer zone, but puts wheels off. He'll get a points deduction for that and then stacks on way too much angle through the last part of the circuit. Puts a wheel off over the curb, and Taylor James looking strong in his first pass.
Well, it's our 2019 Pro Sport champion in the NZ Vertex 180, and you can see the wheel drop, a massive correction, and that will be enough.
How about that into the top 4?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, that was a cool battle of Pro Sport last year. We were both first and second last year, so it was good to finally beat him. And yeah, first pro event, and we're in top 4. That's me.
Solid lead run for the Magan Turbo S13 of Bruce Tannock. He's got Dave Steedman trying to chase him down.
Dave Steedman, you'll see they're putting a wheel off through the midsection as they switch through the last 2 clipping zones. Bruce Tannock right on the line that the judges wanted to see, putting the power down and then bringing his A-game in the chase from the start, but getting lost out in the smoke here, stacking on a little bit too much angle, getting his line wrong and off into the grass.
And that will be enough for Dave Steedman to go through in the Ryco 24/7 Mimico S14.
Well, guess what? Santa gave you an early Christmas present in that last run. How does that feel?
Oh, I'll tell you, I was not too impressed with my chase. I've made quite a few errors, and I just centered on my lead. I had a really good lead run, I think. So I don't know, maybe he made a mistake. But hey, I'm stoked into the top 4.
2 times New Zealand Drift King, the Butaline R34 pilot Cole Armstrong. He's got Jake Jones. He's been in the walls all weekend, sliding off the track.
Yeah, Jake Jones had a tough one, starting off the line with the start button. Didn't have any clutch. He had heaps of driveline issues. They replaced that clutch during practice. What a fantastic job, though, despite those clutch dramas, to still try and set a fantastic lead line here, but unfortunately pushing wide off the track. Cole Armstrong staying on that judge's line.
Armstrong doing a great job to fill the outer zone as they make their way down to the final turn.
Through the last 2 clipping points here, you'll see Jake Jones puts a wheel off in the dirt, another points deduction, and it was a clean drive from Cole Armstrong on that rear quarter, taking victory through to the semi-finals.
So he keeps on going. Oh, what a bit of hard work this time.
It was hard work that time. Jake's definitely got a little mechanical going on. He's got hard clutch problems. They had to start it on the key like just now. So hats off to him. He drove so well. It was a challenge for me to sit behind him, I tell you that much, going slightly slower than what we're used to, but yeah, awesome. Really good fun. It makes me feel like a better driver when you can chase someone that's a little bit different than what you're used to.
Jesse Greenslade of New Zealand Girls S15 powering out of the first turn here at Teretonga Park. He's got Adam Davies in the Ryco 24/7 Mimico 180 S6 rotary trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Adam Davies in that 180 was through the wars this weekend, but he set a fantastic job in the top 8, taking on Jesse Greenslade in the lead run here. Greenslade trying to get that transition right through the smoke, but unfortunately it just put him off. He straight lines through the centre section. Adam Davies filling that outer zone, staying on that judge's line, and Greenslade trying to play catch-up.
Adam Davies doing a great job up front through to the top 4.
Adam Davies doing a great drive in that Mimico 180 SX. Team DSR were through the wars during practice and qualifying. Clutch dramas for those guys as well. In pit lane, you'll see the front bar missing off that car. This is where it all went wrong for Jesse Greenslade. A big straight line lining up the second to last outer zone. That's what cost him. Adam through with the win.
Clean sweep by all the judges, brother.
Oh, nice. That's good. Yeah, Jesse is fast. Another fast car. I just had to put again another clean run back together and just try to stick to the qualifying line.
What is it about mindset when you know you've got someone with a whole lot more horsepower?
Oh, you just got to think about what you're doing at that point and not let that overwhelm you, really.
Little nervous now. Cole Armstrong, top 4.
Cole who?
Oh, okay. Challenge laid down. Here we go. Top 4, not too far away.
Fighting talk from the pits. Top 4 up next.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived. G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
The Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Round 1, Teretonga Park. It's time for the top 4.
Absolutely beautiful day in the sunshine here as the action heats up for the top 4. It's time to get into the semi-finals as the cream rises to the top. And Steve, we've got some big names in the top 4.
We certainly do, Kenny, with Taylor James, his debut in the Pro Championship going up against Dave Steedman.
Cole Armstrong, our two-time New Zealand champion, will take on none other than 2NZ Adam Davies in the rotary-powered 180SX. Well, this is for a chance in the final, the battle for first and second. Who will take the spot or get knocked out to drop back into the battle for third? It is the top 4, run 1, Taylor James, Dave Steedman, and Taylor James has got issues straight off the line.
The Roundwood NZ S14, a massive push coming into the first turn. Dave Steedman in the Ryco 24/7 Mimica S14, charging down, trying to get on the back bumper.
Great job here from Dave Steedman, pushing through that smoke. You'll see Taylor James there struggling, I think, with driveline issues. They had clutch dramas developing through the top 16, but a great first pass there from Taylor James despite those clutch issues.
Well, there's 2 S14s lined side by side and a big advantage for the Ryco 24/7 Mimico machine of Dave Steedman. The Roundwood NZ S14 of Taylor James, what can he do? He's in a terrible points disadvantage.
He might be at a points disadvantage, and maybe he knows that because he's just sucked right up on that B-pillar, even through the smoke. He tries to, big mistake there for Taylor James. So he's struggling with the slipping clutch in behind Dave Steedman in that Mimico S14. What has Taylor James got left in the bag here? Can he claw some points back? Again, another correction through that last apex. And unfortunately for him, I think Dave Steedman is going to walk away with the victory here.
NZ Vapor replay. Let's have a look at what went wrong for Taylor James.
You'll see here Taylor just suck right up straight off the entry. A fantastic drive despite those driveline issues, but a correction for Taylor. He's a little bit down on power with that slipping clutch. Oh, victory for Dave Steedman.
Dave, you look surprised with that result. You got all 3 judges.
Oh, I am actually blown away. I really didn't do very good laps at all there, so I don't know, Tay must have done something that the judges have deemed, really, really bad. So, I'm over the moon. I'm going to the finals. I can't believe it.
Well, mate, settle down now because you're into the top 2, so go back and prepare yourself.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Great reaction from Dave Steedman and Team DSR, the Mimico boys, through to the final. His teammate, though, is giving it a crack too. Will we see a dream Team DSR 1-2 finish?
Well, let's find out. Cole Armstrong in the Beautyline R34 Skyline charges out on the first section, hard on the gas pedal. There's Adam Davies trying to close up proximity, but a gap has been formed.
A gap has been formed, and Adam Davies is trying to claw that gap back, but what a beautiful drive from Cole Armstrong. He's in his B car. It's not his regular comp car. A little bit of a correction there, but puts that power down. He misses that last inside apex. That might throw some sway in favour back to Adam Davies. Let's see what happens in the second pass.
Adam Davies, the current 2NZ, hits the cone, a points disadvantage as he fires it through into the first turn.
You'll see there the heat waves just coming out the external wastegates through the bonnet as Adam Davies fires on through the section. And you'll see here Armstrong just hunting. Look at him, he's lurking on that rear quarter. He's hungry. He's keen to give it to the 2NZ. Can Cole Armstrong bounce back after a shocker year last year? And he does. Look at him, he's reeling him in right on that rear quarter. Armstrong bringing his chase game in the top 4.
Oh, great on the chase, but he did make a mistake in the first pass. Let's go to the judges.
Yeah, well, let's see what the judges will be looking here. We'll take a look at the replay first from NZ Vapor as they fire through this last clipping point layout, and you'll see here Armstrong just reeling him in on that rear quarter. But this is exactly the position where Armstrong got it wrong in that first lap.
Mark O'Hara says one more time. Joel Counter says Cole Armstrong. What will Jace Brown say? One more time, Kenny. We're going again.
Oh, the points must have been pretty tight there, Steve, because these two are going to have to go at it again. Our first OMT of the 2020 season. Let's have a look at where it all went wrong for Cole Armstrong in that first pass. A bit of a correction there, and it just threw him offline for that last inside apex, and that gave the advantage back to Adam Davies.
Well, let's go all over again. It's the Beautyline R34 Skyline 2-times champion Cole Armstrong. He's getting chased down by the 2NZ Riker 24/7 Mimico 180S6, the 13B turbo rotary power machine of Adam Davies.
Adam Davies flooring it through the smoke. Another great job here from Cole Armstrong, and Adam Davies tries to cut a little bit more shallow through the transition to gain some proximity as he tries to reel in the R34 Skyline, tries to put on a return serve to Cole Armstrong. Adam Davies, what a run in that Mimico 180SX. Sudden death, what is going to come of the second pass?
Well, it is Davies' turn again to lead out the 2-times champion. It's Tauranga versus Tauranga out here at Teretonga Park today, round 1 of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
You'll see there Armstrong straight off the line just looking at Adam Davies as they fired out of the chicane. They come through the midsection. Cole Armstrong drops his line a little bit but regains proximity here as they fill this outer zone, and Adam Davies really stacking on the angle as they come on through here, and a little kiss, a little nudge from Armstrong through that last part of the section.
What a drive by Cole Armstrong. You can see him, he's happy in the cockpit of that R34 Skyline.
Let's see what transpired here through this last half of the section, and Adam Davies just right on the edge of the track using all the bitumen here through the last 2 clipping points, and you'll see there a little love tap from Cole Armstrong as he slides up onto that B-pillar through that last apex.
No, you've been doing the door bang. You don't have to bang your own car, mate. That's some of the best chasing we've seen all day.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's what we're here for. We're here to put a show on, and what a battle we just had. The commitment that we can put down, I trust him so much that he's not going to back out of it or do anything silly. I was flat. There was nothing left in this girl, and Unicorn, she's doing me well, mate.
Well, Cole Armstrong absolutely happy to get through into the final. It's time now to take a look at the battle for 3rd place. It's Adam Davies, Team DSR, up against the Roundwood S14 of Taylor James.
Taylor James throws it in, backs it in, but 2 wheels off. A huge mistake by James. It's going to put a massive advantage for Adam Davies.
Adam Davies wavering in the smoke there a little bit. He's having his own issues, so Taylor James puts wheels off, and Adam Davies trying to push through that smoke to get up on that rear quarter and get those points back. Another dirt drop, a mistake for Adam Davies, really trying to work that wheel, but actually a wheel off for Taylor James as well. It's just all turned on its head here for the battle for 3rd and 4th as we go to the NZ Vapor replay.
And here you see where he gets all wrong. 2 wheels off, a huge points deduction for the man leading the way in the first battle.
Yeah, that's the big mistake for Taylor James. I think that's really going to hurt him. But Adam Davies has made mistakes as well, so it's going to come down to the second pass. What will transpire here? What will unfold as they fire through to the initiation? Will they fill this outer zone? Both of them on the mark.
Huge issues all day long for Taylor James with that clutch. What can he do as he chases down Adam Davies in the Ryko 24/7 Minico 180?
Stacks on a bit of angle, and he puts a wheel off potentially as Adam Davies pushes on through. Taylor James at a disadvantage now, but Adam Davies stacks it on in through the last corner, and Taylor James just narrowly avoids the 180SX of Adam Davies, and it's all she wrote for Team DSR. Adam Davies throwing it away.
Well, congratulations, Taylor James in the Roundwood S14, taking his very first win in his first round of the Pro Championship of the Valvoline D1NZ, making the outside pass.
Yeah, congratulations. First ever podium in the Valvoline D1NZ National Drift Championship, and with a dodgy clutch.
Yeah, it slipped pretty much, I guess probably 30-40% of that last run, but yeah, I was about to give up when it slipped, but I thought, I'll keep my foot in it and see what happens, and yeah, I'm lucky we did. It paid off.
What are the big takeaways for you going forward now?
Having all this grip and stuff now, the car's sort of not quite up to the task, I think, so do some upgrades and yeah, build it a bit stronger and get it ready for the next round.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship. You one of the best. You've got them to impress. It's final time. The Beautyline R34 Skyline of Cole Armstrong hits the cone as he makes his way to start. Dave Steedman in the Ryco 24/7 Minico S14. He's going to chase him down.
The RB battle of the Giants. Cole Armstrong up against Dave Steedman, a two-time former champ, leads out Dave Steedman, who wants another trophy in the cabinet, but Cole Armstrong is also back on the horse this weekend, setting an absolutely fantastic line out in front, stacks on the angle through this last apex, just gets that last inside apex. And Dave Steedman lost in the smoke a little bit towards the end of the section, but what will come of the second pass as they fire on through the start gate, the start chicane? Dave Steedman now navigates those cones, which have been dramas all weekend for these drivers.
It's the Battle of Tauranga. It's Dave Steedman who leads out. Cole Armstrong coming in through from behind.
Armstrong right there on that B-pillar straight from the start zone, the initiation zone as they switch through this midsection. Armstrong wavering a little bit offline, tries to get back online up on that rear quarter. Dave Steedman putting on a good lead lap here, but he's just drags it through this last apex, and that puts Cole Armstrong off. Armstrong drops the wheel through this inside apex, and well, Steve, dramas in the second lap.
Kenny, it's going to be so hard to decide who won. We've seen so many mistakes all day from so many drivers. It's come down to mistakes again in the final.
Yeah, Dave Steedman unfortunately not filling that outer zone and then really slow through the transition. That's put Armstrong off, but that kind of transition, I'm not sure how the judge is going to view that, and this actually might go one more time because of the points difference.
Well, Mark O'Hara, he's the first judge. He says one more time. Joel Counter calls it one more time as well. So does Jace Brown. Kenny, we're going again.
Well, a clean sweep from the judges, a one more time call for that battle, and those two drivers just could not be split. They definitely had mistakes from both of them. There was differences in line, and then there was that mistake from Steedman at the end and Armstrong as well. I don't think both of them could have been at fault for that mistake in either pass, but it's sudden death time now as we get into the final. These guys really have to work for it. Armstrong really has to work for it. He's been in 2 OMTs so far.
Well, driving the Beautyline R34 Skyline, it is Cole Armstrong out of Tauranga. Another Tauranga driver trying to chase him down in the Ryco 24/7 Minico S14. Dave Steedman, what a gap between Armstrong and Steedman.
Oh, Cole Armstrong just sitting on an amazing lead lap. Steedman lost in the smoke. Too many car lengths back. He drops the wheel through that last corner, and it is going to come down to the second lap. What can Dave Steedman pull out of the bag here? He's at a big disadvantage. Armstrong now in the chase position. He's lining up that Mimico S14. What's the Beautyline R34 Skyline going to pull out of the bag?
Well, it's the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship, round number 1, Teretonga Park. It's final time. This will be our last battle of the day.
Armstrong dropping down a little bit shallow in line, but then puts him on for a really good line through that outer zone. Dave Steedman doesn't quite fill that outer zone, and Armstrong trying to better the performance from the last pass and gets right up on the rear quarter. Armstrong in the Beautyline R34, and I think he has just taken the victory here, Steve. Armstrong driving absolutely amazing.
As we look at the NZ Vapor replay, you can see a great job up front for the Ryco 24/7 Mimico machine. But again, here comes Armstrong knocking on the door, coming through, and will power out of the circuit. Round 1 winner, Teretonga Park.
Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter, Jace Brown, all 3 judges. Swiping to the left, it's Cole Armstrong with the victory, taking the round win. First blood for the Valvoline D1NZ 2020 Championship Series.
Wow. 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 Give it, say it again, say it again. Wow. The big boy's back, eh? How does that feel?
Absolutely awesome, man. I am pumped. I lost a bit of enthusiasm in these off-season with building these cars, work and everything, but this just brings it back. Brings it all back.
Mate, I was still looking at you in the car and your head was shaking like this as you were going off the line. How pumped were you?
Oh, I got to give it everything, and we gave it all, and I'm so wrapped that this thing was able. This is our second car, you know, the Unicorn. It brings out magical things, as the horse does.
Well, mate, the boy said to me, this could be the last ever run for the Unicorn because she's on the block to be sold, and what a way to, what an advert, a winning car.
What an advert, mate. Yeah, obviously it's good. We've got Leadfoot up next. We'll be putting a showcase on up there, but oh, absolutely over the moon, mate. Absolutely over the moon, eh?
Well, congratulations. 3rd place, Taylor James. 2nd place, Dave Steedman. But the winner of round 1 of the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series, driving the Beautyline R34, it's Tauranga's Cole Armstrong.
A great drive from all the drivers on show for the first time ever at Teretonga Park in Invercargill. We now head to round 2 at Pukekohe Park Raceway in Auckland. Taylor James taking 3rd place for the weekend. It was Dave Steedman grabbing that 2nd spot on the podium, and none other than Cole Armstrong taking the victory first blood for round 1 of the Valvoline D1NZ.
Well, February brings you the NZ Vapor SummerSlam round number 3, the concrete jungle at Tauranga Trustpower Bay Park, February 28th and 29th. Tickets available at D1NZ.com.
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.